All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sip of Tea, where we give you just a little sip of the small businesses that you can support this Saturday during Small Business Saturday. Today, I have Jemina MacHarry, and
Oh,
she has a fantastic company to introduce you to. So I'm going to allow her to do her introduction. So, welcome today, Jemina. So glad to have
yes.
you.
So happy to be on with you today. Thank you so much for having me. I
Yes.
am an independent wine consultant with Scout and Cellar Clean Crafted Wine. What does that mean? Clean crafted wine is wine that's free of additives, preservatives, added sugar. So, definitely for those who are more health conscious but still want to enjoy a good glass of wine. We're not diet wine, so it's not like we lower the alcohol content and lower the sugar. No, we just don't add sugar, but we still have fantastic wine. And we source our wine from small vineyards all over the world. And it's direct to consumer. So, especially considering the times that we live in, this is the only place where you can go online and order clean crafted wine that's better for you, better for the planet. And I am an independent wine consultant, so I have my own site that you can order from and ship wine directly to you. And I also act as kind of as a consultant to my clients if they ever need suggestions or they want to host wine tastings, a lot of really fun things that we could do with it. But I'm so excited to introduce that to your audience today.
I'm excited to have you because who doesn't want to talk alcohol? I know. I love my wine. My son, since the time he was like 3 years old, he's been like, "Oh, it's mommy juice." That's right. Stay away
Yes,
from my
mommy
mommy
juice. That's a
juice.
great way to
Um,
describe it.
so I love it. I absolutely love it. I personally am a sweeter wine drinker.
Mm-hmm.
So my ideal glass of wine is usually a Moscato. So for a person who like is used to the sweetness and the sugar and all of that good stuff, which wine would you suggest?
Well, I actually love when I host wine tastings, especially in-person ones. I know, we're being COVID friendly right now. So right now I limit them to like 10 people. But I love when I host a tasting and someone says, I love Moscato. That's what I like to drink. Because I then explain to them that although Moscato is good wine, I used to drink it myself. When I found out that the reason why Moscato is as sweet as it is because it could have up to 36 grams of sugar. I
Ooh.
was like, whoa. And then also, it doesn't always have the higher alcohol content like other white wines. So I like to introduce people to, for example, we have a Muscat Blanc that's in season sometimes. And so you're drinking what the grapes that are used for Moscato without all the added sugar. And you're able to actually enjoy what Muscat Blanc grapes taste like instead of all the other stuff. And I also like to introduce them to, we have some really amazing sparkly white wines, sparkling rosés that you're actually enjoying the grapes and the wine without all of the added stuff. And a lot of times, most times, people are surprised that they're able to enjoy a bottle of our Riesling or a bottle of our sparkling wine that doesn't have all the sugar in it. And then they feel like, oh, yeah, I've graduated to a new level of
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that because like me with wine always has a very bitter taste to me. Like I don't know what it is that bite on the back of wine. And that
Mm-hmm.
is one of the things that's why, my ideal wine is it's actually what is it called? A Moscato d'Asati? Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
Moscato d'Asti.
D'Asti.
A lot of times, people also say that, and I can also testify to this. When I started drinking Scout and Cellar wine, because it doesn't have all of the added chemicals that we don't even realize, like it has mega purple in mass-produced red wine because they want it to be like a certain color and they need it to get there quickly, so that they could put it on the shelves. So when I started drinking our wine, it's a lot smoother, which could be a problem because then you could go through a bottle pretty quickly, but it doesn't have that bite that a lot of wines have because there aren't those added chemicals. And a lot of my clients say the same thing. So I love
Nice.
introducing people to it because people are like, oh, I'm not really a wine drinker. It has a bite to it. I like sweet wines. Once they actually taste clean crafted wine, a lot of times they're like, whoa, I've been missing out.
So, how did you get into this? How did you find out about this company?
So by day, I work for the NBA here in Houston. I work for the Houston Rockets in corporate development. So I
Woo!
have, yes, a very fun job, which ties into the whole story of this. One of my clients, who's also one of my good friends, she introduced me to Scout and Cellar. She actually gifted me a bottle, and she was like, "Hey, Mina, I know that you're like health conscious. This is some new wine. You got to try it. Oh, and by the way, I'm an independent wine consultant," which was surprising because she was a regional sales director with a software company. So she wasn't someone who I took as who would pick up like a side hustle as a wine consultant. So when she told me that, we had a conversation about it, and she said, "I'd really think that you'd be great in this business. It's so much fun. You get to learn about wine. I love wine." So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I'll do it for the discount if anything else. So signed up for it in February, then had a few tastings, and then COVID happened. So, and if you follow sports, you know that basketball was put on pause, everything moved to the bubble. So that really affected my job and my day to day, and also, my commission, the money that I make. So it was a perfect time for me to get into this business because I first signed up for it just for fun. But over the summer and throughout this pandemic, it's really given me an opportunity to learn more about it and realize that it's a lot more than just wine. Wine is a $72 billion industry. And what
Mm.
I've basically done is invested in my portion of this young company that's only 3 years old. That we hit our 5 year goal within the first 6 months because
Mm.
people will always drink, whether they're happy, they're sad, whatever. Wine, alcohol isn't going anywhere. And then, of course, with the pandemic, direct to consumer wine sales have increased over 500%. People want their wine and they want it delivered to their house. So I looked at it as, okay, well, this is an opportunity for me to build something. I came in early. So I'm one of the earlier consultants that invested in the company, and we're just growing at such a rapid, awesome rate. So even though I have my corporate career, this has been something that I've been able to grow throughout the summer, and I'm really excited to see where it goes, because they say millionaires need 7 streams of income. I don't have time to go pick up another job and physically be somewhere else. So it's been great creating something that's pretty much passive, because people know about my website, people order wine, and yeah, and then I get paid.
I mean, I absolutely love that. And my favorite thing that you just here talked about was how even during the pandemic, your business was able to grow. I think that
Yes.
is a very common misconception, especially among businesses that sell, whether it be a service or a product. I think it's a very common misconception that this pandemic has stopped businesses, because it
Yeah.
hasn't stopped your business. You just have to restructure your
You
business.
just have to do it in a different way. Exactly.
And I love that, because the executive assistant is actually, honestly and truly, a COVID business. We started our business in June of 2020. We are
Oh,
less
wow.
than 5 months old. We have consistent 4-digit months, which is really great in the first 6 months of
Exactly.
business.
Yes, it is.
Um, our end of the our 6 month goal, our end of the year goal was to have a certain amount of clients, and we're one away from that, and we still have a whole month and a half.
That's
And
excellent.
we tend to sign 1 to 3 clients a month. So fingers crossed, or whatever, positive vibes, whatever makes you happy. We're close to reaching that goal. And I say that to say this, it's really important that people understand that COVID has not stopped your business. It may have made you have to restructure your business. You may have to do things a little bit differently. You may have to invest a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, this doesn't have to stop you. And I love that you said that. And I love that you shot that vibe out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said it perfect. This is just really a time to pivot and say, okay, I have this business. How can I do things different? And it's all about mindset. You can decide, oh God, COVID is going to stop my business. And guess what? COVID will stop your business. Or you
Yeah.
can decide, okay, COVID is here. You can't change that. That's a gravity problem. And a gravity problem is a problem that you can't change because gravity will always be here. So instead of saying COVID is going to basically ruin my business. It's how do I use this as an opportunity to do things a little different? For example, ideally, as a wine consultant, we host wine tastings. Once you host a wine tasting, people have fun. They want you to host one. Someone else wants you to host one. That's the way to normally grow your business. I only had a month of in-person wine tastings. So then I had to pivot to virtual tastings. Let's get everybody together on Zoom because Zoom is now the ultimate resource. So get everyone together on Zoom and let's do virtual wine tastings. It was bumpy. We were trying to figure it out. I worked with other consultants. What's working for you? What's not working? But especially at the beginning of the pandemic, people were just excited to do something different because everyone was stuck in the house. Yeah. So I was able to grow my business that way. And then also I had to, we obviously have a little bit more time to be at home on the internet, so had to really step up my social media presence.
There you go.
Instagram,
and you know who can help you with that?
The executive assistant. Instagram, LinkedIn, because right now that is the way that we're communicating with people as opposed to if it was before at a networking event or whatever, I could be in person and tell someone about the wine. But now I had to really decide, okay, I need to step up my social media presence. I need to do some virtual tastings. I need to interact and reach out to people in a different way. But yeah, because the thing is, people are still buying wine. So
I know I haven't stopped. I got a box of wine in my fridge right now. Yes, I said a box, and don't you judge me either.
No judgment. I love it.
So, Jemina, you said another really key word here that I want to talk about. Two keywords, actually, and those two words were passive income. Mm-hmm. And those two words are so important. Whether you want to be a millionaire or not, it is a proven fact in life that stuff happens. Nobody saw this pandemic coming. Nobody seen all us being 8 months later and still afraid to go out of our houses or looking at another lockdown. Nobody saw this coming. So I feel like a lot of us as people, not just as business owners, but as people, we're starting to kind of reevaluate things. And I think that there are a lot more people out there who are looking for that passive income. So what I would like to know from you is, what does it look like to become a wine consultant? Like, what does that take as far as what the steps are for a person?
Of course. And I'm so glad that you asked. And I will say, just to even back up about this whole conversation about passive income, I was late to the party. This year, I was like, and I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but I was like, you know what? I really need to look at bringing in other flows of income. You know, I have a job, I have a great job, but I want extra money, right? And so, and to be totally transparent, I didn't have the money to invest in like real estate and go buy up 2-3 homes and rent them out. I would love to. I'm working on getting there, but not there yet. I don't know enough about stocks and investments, you know, to just be like, okay, I'm going to invest this much money in stocks and see what happens. And also, I know that that's more of like a longer term investment before you start to see the return. So I first, and I know I keep talking about mindset, but I feel like mindset is so important. I had already opened up my mind to possibilities and opportunities. So, you know, God or the universe, whichever you prefer, is so awesome because when my friend Ashlyn introduced it to me, it had to be from her. Now, if someone was like, hey, girl, you want to sell wine and make some extra money? I would have been like, no, see, I'm not doing that. I'm not into the MLM stuff. But because it was someone I know who we have the same corporate background and career, and for her to see this opportunity is worthwhile, even though she is a working corporate professional, mother, married, and she felt like it was worth her time, I said, you know what, that's something that I could look at. And so, and I trusted her because she understands when you work a 9 to 5, or for me, working for the NBA, it's more of like a 9 to 10, 11 p.m. if we have a game or a concert. She understood that busy life. So if this is something that worked for her and she was being successful, then I was like, okay, well then obviously I could be successful. And nothing against anyone who like is a stay-at-home mom or anything like that, but I needed to see someone with my same type of schedule and setup being successful doing that. So with that being said, so the investment also was very low, and I needed, what stuck out to me was the opportunity was greater than the risk. Okay, so For $2.49, you basically get a business in a box. So that includes your first 4 bottles of wine that you can use for your first wine tasting, or you could drink it, do whatever you want with it. Then you get, and that's valued at about $100, right? So if you're a wine drinker, you were going to spend that anyway. Then you get about $50 worth of wine gadgets and tools that you use for your tasting. And then the most valuable part, I think, is for $99, you get a website. I didn't create the website, they manage it, they update it, everything is done. So basically, I have my website that people could go to and order from. So all of that is $2.49. So I figured, you know what? I would have spent $100 on wine anyway. So even if I totally suck at this, that means I lost $150. And I have talked to other people who have invested in other direct sales companies, and like the investment is like 750 or like thousands of dollars. So for me, I felt like, okay, the opportunity is greater than the reward. After my first tasting, I made that money back, you know, and then it's obviously grown from there. And then especially with the pandemic, with people ordering wine more often, the business has grown as well. So to be a consultant, it's really easy. You know, you just contact me. I like to send people some information about how the wine is created, what makes us different, answer any questions they have, and you just sign up. And then we send you your business in a box. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs who they have to pay to get their website done. They have to pay for their marketing materials and all of that stuff. So for me, I needed the path of least resistance, and it was wine. And I have a really fun job that I enjoy. So anything that I was going to devote my time to had to be fun or sexy, as I would say. So it just really aligned with what I was looking for. And wine is so social. It's so easy to ask people, what kind of wine do you drink? It's always a conversation starter, and always leads to people buying wine. So
Yeah, it's like 88% of people or something like that that'll tell you exactly what it is they like. And then you have like that 12% that's like, "Oh, I don't drink." Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
that's
and
all
that's
right
fine
too.
because even if you don't, I know you know someone who does.
Yep.
So there you go. And
Boom.
also to add on that, for anyone looking for like a business investment opportunity, I also liked it because I don't have to show you how to drink wine. A lot of people who like wine know what they like.
Yep.
So, although I do send suggestions, a lot of people go online and they pick what they want.
Yep.
So, I'm not taking away from money that you were going to use for something else because you were either going to go to the grocery store or the alcohol store, wherever. So, I'm just asking you, instead of you going there, buy it from me.
So a lot of times, and I promise I'm wrapping up. This is just so interesting. So a lot of times with wine, right? Well, not with wine, but with anything that is more natural,
Uh-huh.
it's also more expensive.
Uh-huh.
So what if I wanted to go to your website and buy some wine? What can I expect the price ranges of these wines to be in?
Yes, that's a great question because you're right. If you go to alcohol store and you want to buy natural wine, which is comparable to clean crafted. Ours is we own the rights to clean crafted, but natural wine is also wine that goes through like an organic process. You're going to spend 50, 60, $70 a bottle. Or if you go to a restaurant, it's going to be the higher end wine that you're drinking. So our price range from $16 up to 72, and the average price is about $25, $30. So
That's what I already spent on my wine. On the cheap end, I'm spending 16 on a good day. When I buy a box of wine, it's 16. When I buy a bottle, it's usually about 22. So what you're telling me is that I could be spending the same money I would normally spend on wine and drink healthier wine.
yes, exactly. And the reason why we're able to keep it on the lower end for this type of natural organic wine is because it's direct to consumer. We're not paying to put it on the shelves. We're not paying for the marketing. We're not paying for the shelf space. So, that's why our model is different, but it's able to keep the wine around $20, $30.
I love it. I love it. So with you saying this is an MLM, I've heard you say that a couple of times.
Yes.
We do know that small businesses they stimulate the economy. So how does an independent consultant
Mhm.
compare to being a small business owner?
This is kind of like my franchise. I own it. It's not brick and mortar, but it's my e-commerce website. So it's all about really supporting me. I mean, Scout and Cellar is a small business, and then it has its consultants all over the country. But when you buy from one of us, like for me, this is help to be completely transparent. This is helping me recoup money that I've lost over the summer because basketball wasn't able to be played in our arena. So that affected my job. I still have a job, but our income has been cut dramatically. So
Mhm.
this is my way of making up for the money that I've lost and also growing my business, that even when life gets back to whatever the new normal will be, I know that I have not just my main stream of income with work, I also have something that I'm building, that can help me basically go on this path to diversify my income. And also, I love to share this opportunity with other working women. I will, men also, I'm not discriminating, but especially when it comes to the people who have joined the business with me, they've all been women who we've gone to college, we've got the degrees, we've worked 10 years in corporate, and we finally are like, okay, so this has taught me that even if I don't quit my job could quit me, or a pandemic can happen. Whoever thought that basketball would be paused for months? That's crazy. No one would have ever thought that. So a lot of the women who join me in the business are people who work the corporate job. They don't have time to go pick up another job or time to be an Uber driver or whatever. So this is a way that they're able to bring in more money to help them diversify their income.
I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I run a business, but I also work within my business. So it's almost like I have two jobs. It's almost like I'm two people, but I'm only
Uh-huh.
one. You know what I mean? So when I have 5 clients and I'm trying to keep my business afloat, and I need just a couple of extra dollars to push that extra mile to support my bad habit or Christmas shop. Hello, it's
Yes,
that time of the
yes.
year, and I have a 9-year-old, so Mommy, I want a Nintendo Switch. I need to find $300
I was
right
surprised you didn't
now.
say PS5 because that's what everybody else is talking about. I think it's like $500. I can't even,
Yeah,
what?
when you don't tell them about it, they don't know. So I didn't even tell him PS5. He doesn't even know that's coming out. Somebody else knows about the Nintendo Switch. That's how you found out about that. But I digress. What I'm saying is, even sitting here listening, I'm like, okay, I love the idea of passive income as opposed to having to go out there, and I don't have a car, so I can't be an Uber driver. I don't have the patience to shop for someone else, so I can't be an Instacart in-store shopper. I don't really like to leave my house at all anymore.
Yeah,
I've been working from home for 3 years now. I
yeah,
don't want to go out there in the world. And like you said, and like I said, at this point, we should have all learned you've got to have a backup plan. You've got to have a plan B. Because if this year has taught us anything,
yes.
it's what can happen will.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought that I was in one of the most secure industries, sports, although sports will be back, and we'll just figure out a different way to host live events. But in this meantime, it's definitely been an eye opener,
Yeah.
and you know what doesn't stop? Your bills. Your bills don't stop.
Oh, yeah,
So
no, they don't want to stop those.
yeah. So it's been a lot of fun creating this business, sharing the opportunity with other people who are looking to diversify and just have a plan B or plan C, whatever it is for you.
I love it. So, Jemina, how can our people get in touch with you? How do they find you? Where do you hang out?
So my Instagram for my wine is Mina's Dash Vines on Instagram. Also, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm definitely way more active now because pandemic pivot. You got to change where you're hanging out. So on LinkedIn, I am Jemina MacHarry. And yeah, I also have Facebook, but that's just like, my regular personal Facebook, Mina MacHarry. Then also my website, if you want to check out the wine, watch a video, quick video to see what it's about, and see the different varietals that we have. It's www.scoutandcellar.com/Mina's Vines. And it goes directly to my site.
I love it. I love it. So, Jamina, this has been an awesome experience for me. I am so glad that we
Oh,
got to do
awesome.
this. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you. Do you have any
Same.
last words for us?
Um, I will just say that anyone watching, if you have that nudge or that feeling like I want to try something different, I want to, whatever it is, whether it's starting a business, switching your career, trust your gut and take a bet on yourself, because
Ah,
this year has definitely taught us, hopefully, if you've used this time to do some self reevaluation. I think it has really made the whole world pause forcefully. And this has really been a time for you to just really sit and think about your life and where it's going and what you've built so far. And it doesn't always have to be a negative thing, but bet on yourself, take a chance on yourself and see what happens.
I
Do
love
something
it.
uncomfortable because everything you want is right outside of your comfort zone. And I'm the queen of wanting to only be comfortable. But this year has taught me to get uncomfortable and it's so rewarding.
That's amazing. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it yourself.
And drink some wine while you do
And drink some wine.
it.
Oh my goodness. This has been an absolute pleasure, Jemina. Thank you for sharing and thank you for
Absolutely.
illustrating to us. Do not forget to support Jemina Harry this Saturday for Small Business Saturday. This has been Sip of Tea, where you get just a little sip of the small businesses that you can support this weekend. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon with another small business owner. Bye.
Bye.